the Couture 303 podcast with Jay Viper.
The Couture 303 podcast is now officially sponsored by Dapper Turkish Barbers in Hunts Cross. You can find them on Wood End Avenue and they do the full service there. The hair, the beard, the ears, the nose, the cutthroat, hot towels, the lot. It's the only barbers I ever go to. Fantastic service, great lads. No need to book, just pop in and see them 7 days a week. If you want a nice sick fade like mine, you will not be disappointed. The absolute best in the area. That's Dapper Turkish Barbers, Wood End Avenue, Hunts Cross. And now back to the show. Welcome back, guys, to a very special episode of the Couture 303 podcast. Now, my guest today, it's a first in the history of the Couture 303 podcast. This is my first guest who's been on twice, and I'll explain why in a minute. I'm joined today by DJ, promoter and head honcho for Back to Dock, the single-handed man who's doing more for Oldskool in Liverpool than anyone, and I challenge anyone to dispute that. I'm talking, of course, about Lee Hall. How are we, Lee?
I'm good, Jay. Thanks, mate.
So, a little bit of history, as we always do the podcast. So, way back, fucking hell, 2.5 years ago, I was promoting a line of t-shirts, and I said to Lee, do you want to do a little interview? And Lee, good enough, said yeah. So we went to his kitchen. I had this little handheld recorder. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had questions on my fucking phone. And it lasted about 20 minutes. And it was shite. And I walked away. And it wasn't through no fault of Lee's. I just thought, fucking hell, I can do better than that. I was disappointed in myself. Didn't know what I was doing. And then I reached out to Glenn Merseysides. And he said, yeah. So the next one was a lot better. It was only episode 3 after a conversation with somebody else where somebody said, how's the podcast going? And I said, I haven't got a podcast. And he went, well, you know, when you interview someone and put it online, that's a podcast. So episode 3, Rob Kane, was the first one, which was actually a podcast. So first of all, Lee, thanks for giving me the time again. The first one was disastrous through no fault of your own. I know you've got a lot more to talk about. So I'm going to kick off, as we always do, where and when were you born, mate?
I was born in 1975. I was born in down by Chinatown, in the Liverpool one, yeah.
So what was your family unit like?
Sam, there was me, mum, dad, and then a couple of years later, my other sister come along, and then 10 years later, another sister come along, so there was like three kids and two mum and dad, yeah.
So what was childhood like for you then, Lee? Were you a good kid, naughty kid?
I was so. I was sort of...
You went down the nursery, but we'll get on that a little bit later.
I was actually quite good, to be honest. There's an army cadets and stuff like that. And I was actually in army cadets and really stuff like that, done really well. And then basically got into, as I started to get to like 14, 15, that's when I started meeting other people, other like lads the same age as me who was in school with, they were up to no good, and I started being friends with them, and that's when it all started going wrong, to be honest.
It's a bit of monkey see, monkey do that, isn't it? I think sometimes you'll like the clan mentality, people will do stuff to fit in, even though they know it's wrong, you know, and there's consequences, unfortunately, when the shit hits the fan, it's you, it's fate. But so we'll go back just a touch. So what, anything in school that you excelled in? Anything you were good at?
Yeah, I was always good at sports. Always good at brilliant at football.
Brilliant at football,
loads of
modest as
well.
I
was always good at sports. I was over like athletics and stuff. I used to do running. I used to do hurdles for the school. Long jump. I was really good at competitive. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like through being in the army cadets and stuff like that. Yeah.
And did your parents like support you with stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So when did music become a thing for you? So for most people, DJs, MCs, musicians, the musical history comes from either the parents or older siblings or uncles, cousins. So what kind of music were you listening to as a kid?
UB40, bits of reggae, cause stuff like that. A lot of like mostly it was UB40 stuff. Know what I mean? Yeah. Reggae, Bob Marley, stuff like that. What
about your sisters? Were your sisters both younger than you?
Yeah, they were younger than me, but I'm talking about like when I was a kid, like up until the age of 10, like my mum and dad's music, they'd play stuff. I'd have stuff that they'd be listening to, I'd listen to via them, know what I mean?
Yeah, so when did dance music become a thing for you? When did you discover it? And
I'd say it was 1990, 91, yeah.
Yeah, and how was that? Was it a tape or?
It was an old tape of Top Buzz and stuff, and then I showed the mate it, and then a mate told me to listen to Key 103, Stu Allan, and then, you know, from there. But to be honest, I'd actually been out around that time as well, know what I mean?
How old?
I think it was 15.
Fucking hell.
So,
when were you going, 15?
We got sucked, but I think it was the art dock had only just opened, and we got sucked there. The lad who lived next door to me, he used to be the caretaker of there, and he used to be the cleaner, caretaker. He had like that many jobs there, and he told us about it because he heard us listen to the music, and he took us, and bass heads were on, I think, something like.
Who else was on the back in the dock back then?
I don't know, mate. I think it was Mike Nola, to be honest. But it was really old. It weren't like the hardcore or not like that. It was just it was really dance music, like the really 1990 stuff. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, doing this podcast, it has educated me because I didn't know Mike Nola played in it. He came here, right where you're sat now. He's 70 odd years of age now. He come in a frame, God bless him. And obviously, everyone knows Mike Nola from the Quad. And he's played here, there and everywhere, but I didn't know he was in the dock in the early days.
I only knew later on it was him. I didn't have a clue. In them days, mate, I didn't even know it was on or not. And it was only till around I started going to the art dock a bit later on in the drum that you sort of knew the DJs where you'd listen to find out. But going to that prior to that, I was just going to get off my head, basically.
So to be fair, I mean, I think, again, Mike Nola touched on this. Back in the day, like the late 80s, early 90s, there was none of this DJs on stage. They stood with the back to you. They weren't like now, like people go to see DJs. You'll go to an event because a certain DJ's on and he's, you know, you got the likes of James Hype who's dancing around everyone and there's this big spectacle. Back then, it wasn't a thing. Yeah. And it's mad to think now, as the club landscape as we know it, the DJs used to stand with the back to the crowd.
Yeah, well, the art dock used to be, it was really dark in there. The lights weren't lit up too good. It was really dark in the very far corner over the side. There was like a wall there, and the DJ was behind the wall, but it wasn't like a big dance floor he was playing. It was like a big open room. It was
nuts,
weird. Like it was in like the darkest place they could have put him, and he had no light shining on him or nothing, so you probably never knew it was on. And it was only until like the later 90s where they moved it over to the stage where they were playing in front of the bar where the lights and all that were on them. Yeah. So
where did you used to get your tapes from back in the day then?
Basically take them off your mates, or if you go to a Freebeat or somewhere and get a tape pack, or you've been to Dreamscape and on your way out you'd see a stall there and you managed to have a few quid left, you'd be able to buy one or two, you know what I mean?
What was your go-to when you had the tape pack? Because from memory, the Helter Skelter packs, for example, you'd get 3 packs. You get a drum and bass pack, a hardcore pack, and a techno pack. What would be your go-to? Used to be the Dreamscape ones for me, because they'd be mixed, know what I mean? So you'd have a good mixture of everything in it. Yeah. Who were your favourite DJs back then and MCs?
Back then it would have been favourites would have been Ratty, Doc Scott, Groove Rider, and you know, started there in the happier hardcore after and starting liking that, know what I mean? Top Buzz were always great. Stu Allan was a bit of a thingy, you know. In the thingy tape packs, they were always really good DJs on, like G Real, like people you've never heard of, like DJ Rap, and all them. Yeah,
she's still going now, isn't she?
I know, yeah.
Who was it came here? It was Stevie Wonder, and we were talking about DJ Rap. And when the podcast wrapped up, he said, pardon the pun, wrapped up, he said, have you seen DJ Rap recently? And I said, no. He went, get on this. And I thought he was going to show me like a picture of her, or no, because she's fucking older than us, isn't she?
Yeah.
She still looks about fucking 30.
She hasn't changed, mate.
It's fucking nuts. I went, Jesus Christ. Like, she was always like, before you had your Lisa Lashes and your Amber D's and your Ann Savages, DJ Rap was the first, like, female DJ. And because she was quite, you know, good looking girl, and she was on the cover of the magazines and all that. She hasn't aged a bit.
Never. It's mad, isn't it? She's not aged. There was like always here, and there was another one called Fallout from Coventry. She was like a similar one, know what I mean? Them two were always on big events and that.
You'd seen them in the magazine, Mix Mag and M8 and fucking Dream magazine and all that. So, did you leave school with any qualifications?
Unfortunately, I left school before I should have left school.
Same here, mate. Same here. Left with fuck all, mate. Yeah. So what happened to your life after that? So obviously, when did you actually? Do you remember that? When did you leave, or just kind of fade out?
Just faded out and never went. And by that time, I was already into some like small drug dealing, doing bits and bobs, and you know, I did try and get jobs and that as well. When I left school, I worked. I worked in fruit shops. I worked on fruit stores. You know, but you know, the drugs were always my go-to to get money. Yeah, it was always my go-to. But stop for ages, then go straight back. Know what I mean? But you know, worked in bike warehouses. You know, I've done a lot of work as a kid, built different jobs.
It's tough though, the society we live in now. where young kids coming up, and obviously it was no different back then, late 80s, early 90s, it was guaranteed easy money. Obviously the risks involved is, you know, something we'll talk about in a minute. It's all well and good till you get fucking caught, isn't it? And once you do get caught, unfortunately, the shit lit the fan, and the people who, you know, make claims to have your back probably in them situations haven't. So you got stung pretty bad, didn't you? You end up inside.
Yeah, I've ended up inside twice over it. Like, first time was 4 years.
And what was that for?
Drugs.
Specific? Can you speak specifically?
Yeah,
what that was, or?
heroin and crack cocaine, supplying it. So when I was younger, supplying on the streets.
And how old were you then?
I think it was about 22 or something.
Yeah.
And then years later on, you know, as you're involved in the drug game, you don't do street level dealing for long enough. You move up through the ranks, and basically I was supplying the all of the country at one stage with the like group of lads I was with. We were sending stuff to Plymouth, Ipswich, Norwich, Scotland, down to Birmingham, the South Coast, wherever. We'd have them going every week.
And how did you just get nicked, or how did it come about?
Just they've been watching for quite a while. The 2-year operation, mate. Watching phone call movements, following cars, stuff like that. Know what I mean? Bug. The final nail in the coffin was the bug in the car. Know what I mean? They nicked me for some violence that I got accused of doing. So they nicked me, put me in prison. So when they've give them the car back, they've nicked in the car with them. And they've put a bug in their car, so I'm in jail now on something else, and they put a bug in the car, and that's how they got them.
Was that the first time or the second time?
Second time, and it was like when they spend money like that on an operation, they want results. So,
of course,
so they don't want to give you 4 years. You know, it's double figures.
And it's not you they're after; it's the people. I mean, even though you've said you've started at the street level, which you know. They don't want really street level people. When they get a street level person, they want that to move on to the next and next.
And
so
where
they've nicked you and they've sent you down, what they want really is whoever you reported to at the time.
Yeah, whoever we're buying it off, not like this the wholesaler, know what I mean? We were the wholesalers at our level, but there's like the importers who we were getting it off, know what I mean? So they probably wanted to know who they were, but it's they probably know anyway, because they know everything, mate.
Did you all get sent down and nicked, or?
I think there was 10 of us nicked, and 8 went to prison. Two got not guilty because they had nothing to do with it anyway. You know what I mean? They just brought 2 girls involved in the case because they were birds of the two lads who were nicked for it. Know what I mean?
So the second time you got sent down, how old were you?
How old was I? It was 2004. I don't even know how old it was. Like 20 years ago. And so would have been
30, 29, 30.
29, 30,
And where'd you get sent?
I got sentenced down. They done a trial in Norwich, because that's where the case with the National Crime Squad based the case from, Norfolk. So they sent us down there, and then ended up all over the country in jail, everywhere. Belmarsh, Wandsworth. I went to Elmley down in Kent. That's on the Isle of Sheppey, which is like one of the furthest, like by Dover, you know what I mean?
And that's shit for getting visits then, and obviously your family still want to visit you and
like
stuff
like that. And then I come back up towards the Midland ways. I was there for about 4 years, and then ended up in Doncaster Lindholm, and then the last 2.5 years of them was in Kirk Leventon in Middlesbrough, which is like an open jail now, because you've been in for a while and you behaved yourself and you haven't got long left, so they say let's get you ready to go home, know what I mean?
So what was it like? Obviously you for one's better word, you were a street savvy kid. At this point you're not a kid anymore, but it's still, people can put a brave face on it, but it must be a culture shock going inside, because you're dealing with fucking, I imagine you're rubbing shoulders with fucking bad fucking people. Like. Yeah,
you're rubbing shoulders with all sorts of people, mate. You'll have people who are just like heroin addicts who are in there, who are just like, that's all they're after. They just all day, that's all they think about, mate. Sign a score. You've got people in there with serious mental health issues who shouldn't be there. Then you'll have you just have loads of normal people in there who are and then you'll have some really psychopaths in there, know what I mean? So you just all mix together.
What's it like when you get in there? Because again, I imagine it's similar to the street level thing, where you're spending all your time with convicted criminals. Is it hard to resist the temptation to kind of get involved, or did you get involved, or what do you do to kind of pass your time? Do you keep your head down, or do you try and get in with the... It's one of them, innit? You don't want to make too much noise, but you don't want to look like a fucking victim either, do you?
Yeah, what it is, mate, especially the jails down south, wherever the Scousers or Manx, they all stick together. So even though there's a big rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester in the football, when you're out of town in jails like down Midlands, down south, the Liverpool and Manchester lads all stick together, and that's the way. That's the way it is. So you're always with them. You're always in like their groups, know what I mean? So, or you can be lonely and not to speak to no one, know what I mean? And just let your beard right up, but that really do your head in, I think.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's the same as school or work. You want to be part of something. You don't want to be a loner. And especially in prison, as you said there, you don't know whether that fucking guy you've not spoke to could literally have nothing to lose and fucking slash your fucking face the next day. You want someone to have your back.
It's really mad, mate, because sometimes you can be in places like that. Like it happened to me one day, and you know, you walk down the land, and especially in the long termers, because some people aren't getting out, some people are, and you walk down the land and you say hello to everyone, all right. And one day some lads just barged past me, and I said, "Are you alright?" And he just like got off, and about 20 minutes later I'm still stood there. His wife walked past, but when he's walked past me, he threw a shot on me, but he hit me with his key, because you have a key to your door. No, because it's long term, you should lock your own pads and that. So he's just fucking, so I ended up fighting with them and all that, got split up, got been nicked. So like I spoke to him a couple of days later, and he just told me he had a bad phone call and he thought it said something. And I asked him, was he alright, know what I mean?
Just show you, wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are your thoughts, obviously looking back now? Did you get, like, obviously you said there, like the Scousers and the Manx and all that sit together. I imagine that works the opposite way around as well. You will get people being hostile towards you just because of your accent.
To be honest, mate, so you get the London lads all stick together. You'll get like the Muslims all stick together, the Scouts and the Manx stick together, and then the Brummie. So everyone just sticks in their own groups. And then you'll always have, I swear to God, you'll always have like a couple of, if you're down south or in the Midlands, you'll always have a few Londoners, which is as well, like a few Cockneys will always jump on the, you know what I mean? It does not just predominantly Scouts and Manx. You'll have all the good lads from the area, you know, like a good group of lads all sit together and that, know what I mean?
I imagine it's a little bit like the army in the sense of, although it's predominantly a punishment and it's predominantly fucking unpleasant, there's probably some fun memories as well, you know.
Yeah, but some really good times,
some funny
mate.
Things and stuff.
But some know what, mate, most of the times I spent in there was having a laugh, know what I mean? We made it as easy as possible. Like we were speaking, I went to visit my mate yesterday in prison, and we were speaking like about what the Christmases we spent in there. We'd get ale made, and we'd get drugs in, and we'd have a party, know what I mean? It'd be like 30-40 of us having a party, and we'd have music blasting, know what I mean? It was like metal.
So what are your thoughts? Obviously, how long did you serve in the end?
I think it was just 8.5 years I done. I got 15 years to serve, 8.5 years out of it.
So did you say 2004 you went in?
Yeah.
So when you come out, so 2004, a lot must have changed. What was... When you came out, what was the significant changes you noticed in society and how things were?
But when I went away, there weren't no social media. That was one, know what I mean? Phones, when I went away, everyone had them little crappy Nokias, know what I mean? And when I come out, there's camera phones and everyone's walking around, glued to the phone. Like I do it myself some days now, but it was just a big shock coming out, and like how fast things had moved, how were
your family when you come out, like?
They were there for me, support me, yeah.
Regular visits and all that kind of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah. From where I was, they come down twice a month, once a month, depending on the area where I was in, know what I mean? Because it's a long way to... Like, I went to Nottingham yesterday, that was a 10-hour day for me. Yeah. And that's only Nottingham.
Yeah, I got the snipper reversal in Nottingham. I go back, our Madison's 10 now, so about 11 years ago, and there's a bit of a fucking drive. I remember driving back, I was in the back of the car, fucking all dumped up to fuck. So, what was the next point? Okay, so you've come out of prison. Did you find it hard to adjust to society after being inside for so long?
Yeah, it took me a while to get back doing it. Really took me ages to get back thingy. Like, the only thing I knew done in jail was train, so the gym was my thing. So when I come out of jail, the first thing I'd done was join the local strength conditioning gym. It was Body Talk, because I was living in Altern then, so I got away from Toxteth and moved to Altern, and I joined the gym there, and I got in with the lads there, so I become like friends with them, and so that was my thing, the gym, training. And that was it really for a couple of years, know what I mean?
You kept your nose clean since then, yeah?
Yeah, I've not been in no trouble or nothing.
And what are your thoughts? Obviously, I think when you're inside for that period of time, and just the thing I want to touch on then, I think the distance is part of their punishments, isn't it? You know, they can only send you down for so long, but by moving you to a drug that's the other side of the fucking country, that's part of the punishment, because then inadvertently they're punishing your family, or they might be punishing you, because you for all they know, your family might not have the capabilities to go to the fucking Isle of Wight or go down to fucking Scotland or whatever, you know. So you've had time to reflect now, obviously being inside. What are your thoughts on it? Obviously it seems like an obvious question, but if you go back and change it, you probably wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't have went there. It was like the biggest waste of I've spent nearly like 10 and a half years, nearly 11 years of my life in prison, and it's like the biggest waste of 11 years, know what I mean? It's like,
is that your biggest regret, the time wasted?
The time wasted, yeah.
And missing out on
family stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you've come out. Did you find it hard to get a job, or was it tough and fast? I imagine the temptation's there to slip back into your old ways.
Yeah, I mean, when I come out, I had a mate who's a builder, so he does building developments and stuff like that. He gave us a job. Got me working with the lads, working on the boarding and stuff like that. I was working with them for quite a while, and I think I was with them for about a year, and we were on a job in for Zachley Hospital. They were building a neuro unit there, so we were doing all the boarding for it. And we had a kid working with us. He was only a young lad, and he's left the door open. Now this foreman's bounced down, like he's left the door open, and like. We're bored, and so he's fucking started banging on the wall. Blah, blah, blah. So we turn the guns off and that, because the nail guns off, and next thing he's shouting, walks over to me, he's pointing in my face, so I just grabbed his fucking finger and I'll fucking kill you, you fat prick, and all that. So we started screaming, get the police and all that, so I had to leave. That was it, I had to leave, like. So basically he told the lads who was working for, if you give him any more work, he won't give you no more contracts. So the lads to fucking leave, know what I mean? He was just a bully lad, know what I mean? And I just thought, I've had enough of this. No, it'll only take so much to fucking blow a fuse. Yeah, so back to the dock. How did that come about? Obviously, well, I didn't know till I spoke to you last time that you'd started the events before you started DJing, which again, that's you live and learn. So how did Back to the Dock come about? Well, to be honest, when I come out of prison, I wasn't going out or nothing. I was just like going to gym, training, and I was the girl I was with. I was got married to some girl and all that, and like it didn't last very long. And all we were doing was drugs, lads, sniffing coke, and that sort of from there, that sort of pushed me back into doing it. So I got there was a period of time when I got back into the drug dealing, and there was one, like, it was gone on for about 7-8 months, and you know, I was making money, but I was sniffing every day, and I was fucking back to where I went to before I'd gone to jail. So I've done all that jail to get fit and dead healthy and all that, to put myself back there. And then I woke up one morning, and I just got up, and I had to go to probation. Probation's in Toxteth by my mum's, and I swear I packed the bag and I never went back. I swear to God, like that was it.
Yeah. I think sometimes the company you keep as well, and obviously, as you said there, if you're with someone who's of that nature, and let's be honest, anyone who's taken drugs or been involved in it, there's an element of excitement there. There's an element of pleasure from it. You know, that thrill of doing a deal and making money and making easy money. You know, and people take drugs for a reason, because it makes them feel a certain way. And if you want to move away from that, but you're with someone who's still of that nature, that must be fucking hard to kind of, you know, clean your act up.
I know what, I just had to woke up and more than made the decision that I've got to go, because all I could see was where that I was in the position was before I got nicked in 2-4, and I was winning the best place then, and I thought that I'm going to end up being back getting another 15-16 years, because the amount of drugs I was supplying, and I thought I've got to go, and I just left, and that was it.
You've read that book and you know where it ends.
Yeah, so I just knew. I just went, and you know, although we got divorced and all that, and it was dead thingy about it, so it was just done, and that was a part of my life that like is I'd like to forget, like I would like to forget about. Know what I mean? Yeah.
It's easy to say that, but I think, and we've all got regrets, we've all got things we've done which we're not happy about or ashamed of, or wish we hadn't done. But everything you've done in your past leads you to where you are today. The Lee I see sat in front of me now is a different person to the Lee I even spoke to 3 or 4 years ago. You know, there's a lot more maturity there, you're a lot calmer. So when you started DJing, your name was Rage. Is that because of anger issues?
Yeah, because it was anger. I used to be like, when I was in jail, I used to just flip, lad, and that's what they called me, the Rage. Like the Cockneys used to call me the Rage, and so that was it. And that really short fuse, know what I mean? Like I've managed to calm it over the past few years, but with that guy on that building site, that was an example, know what I mean? Of like being just like snapping over someone. You should have just basically ignored what he said to him and just let him look a prick, know what I mean? Instead of me.
Unfortunately as well, there's people out there who'll see someone with a short fuse or a bad temper and they'll push the buttons.
Oh yeah.
And once you get a response, you're the fucking bad guy then.
Oh yeah, that happens, mate. And they played the victim, It's happened for years.
So you've dodged me question nearly. How the Bastard.com goes?
So what it was, so I'd gone back to my mum's and that, and I started seeing Donna. So it was one of the things was I'd been out a couple of times since I'd been out. I'd been raving twice or something, but I'd not really got into it because I was when you're on the coke, it's just another story. You don't want to do nothing. It's
you don't enjoy it.
No, so I wanted to go raving. So when I met Donna, I talked Donna into going to the first event was the Drome in the O2 Arena.
Calm Academy.
I don't know who was on the Drome.
I think I was at that one.
Really good night. So me and Donna went there, and then we met people there who we knew. We knew people who were in there, and they told us to come to this other place, Williamson Tunnels, but what Ebo and that done. So we went there, and that was it really. We just started enjoying it and met people like Chris Butler and just met loads of people. And then like we done. I was already doing boxing shows. Because I'd worked in the box. When I'd moved back to my mum's, I'd gone to the boxing gym and sort of got in there, and like because I was into the fitness and all that, and they asked me to work in there, so I've gone there and I met a lad, Carl, and me and him started doing charity boxing shows because we worked on loads for other people. So I already know how to put shows on, like boxing shows are quite big as well. So I'd already organising them. So on one of the boxing shows, we put on an after party for it was for, I'm just thinking, it was for Marie Curie, and we done a boxing show for Marie Curie because my sister died there, so we done an after party, and Lee Butler done it for us with Ebo and a few others, know what I mean? And we done a night on, and like a couple of people asked us, you should do another one, so that's when I thought of, everyone's doing Oldskool and that, so we're doing our core one, and that's when I said to Chris, I thought of Back to the Dock and I asked Chris to do it with me, know what I mean? So that's when we thought about it.
Yeah. So do you remember your first event?
The first Back to the Dock event was 8 years next February in the North Shore, yeah.
Who was on?
DJ Demand and Reflex. We didn't really go big at the time, know what I mean? And Lively, Lee Bennett, he jumped on it for us, like he really helped us out a lot.
I think from what I've seen, Back to the Dock started as like almost like a dock reunion, and it's since developed and progressed and kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's evolved into this all-encompassing old school event now, where you've got people who probably never played the dock or with even too young to play the dock. But as I said on Facebook the other day, I challenge anyone watching or listening to this podcast to find me anyone who does as much for the old school scene in Liverpool than you and the team. Now I know it's not just you. I know Donna's involved. I know John's involved. I know Dino's involved, and there's probably other people behind the scenes as well. But I sit here now, hand on heart, and say the old school scene in Merseyside owes you a lot, mate. You've done more than anyone, mate. So when the likes of the Drome reunion or Drome revival, whatever it was called, you were the only person on an event who never played the drone.
And I was quite
you're
surprised.
on that because of what you do for the old school scene. It's as simple as that. You've got as much a right to be on that lineup as anyone who ever played the drone because of that. So you should be fucking very proud of that, mate, and tip your ass. Don't forget, you can catch me each and every Thursday night for my show, Absolute Old School, only on In Demand Radio, where I play you 2 hours of classics and a feast of forgotten gems, usually on the harder side of the spectrum. We kick off with the early 90s every week, and then we have the trance flashback section, followed by the spotlight section. In the past, we've featured clubs and events like Kinetic, The Drome, Good Grief, labels like Tidy Tracks, Bonsai and Shock, and artists such as Ultrasonic, Tony DeVee and Scott Brown. We always finish off nice and tough with the Go Hard or Go Home section. You can catch it on In Demand Radio Thursday nights from 11 p.m, or listen back absolutely free of charge on indemandradio.com, or download the free In Demand Radio app for Apple or Android. So your first event, how was it? What, like numbers wise?
We'd sold a few hundred tickets, and to be honest, it was busy, really busy. What it was is, Donna doesn't like hardcore, and she said, can we do a room for me? My mates in the North Shore had 2 rooms, so we spoke, and we thought we'd get other DJs playing Old School in the back, so we got like the original DJ, Alan James, and a couple of others, and we threw Old School in the back and hardcore, and it just worked. You know what I mean? It was, so that was the layout for doing 2 rooms on all of them for the Old School, because before the hard doc was actually hard, it was always the Old School in there, like Jumpin' Jack Frost used to play Old School, all of them, Mike Nolan, all the piano and that, so we just thought we'd hit it at both sides.
Yeah. So did you start off just doing one a year, or did you just do one, see how it went?
We were doing 2 a year. We done one in the February, and then we done another one in the June, and that's like, we went a little bit bigger with the lineup. We got like Fabs and Liveleee, and we got a little bit bigger every time we done another one, know what I mean? Because we pushed it, and we got to the stage where we were booking like, we were only booking like one headline, and so you got to the stage where we were booking like 3 or 4 of them, know what I mean?
I mean, I've just recently seen your lineup for the 8th birthday, which is in February.
Yeah, February 22nd.
The lineup's fucking sensational, mate. I mean, fucking hell, you've literally pulled out. So I've been lucky enough to go to and perform at a couple of your events, and I'll say this, mate, the atmosphere in there and the camaraderie, and it is like a family. You know, you see the same faces there all the time. There's never any trouble. Everyone's there for a good time. The vibe's amazing, and funnily enough, it was actually your event. So way back, I was been DJing on and off for about 30 years, and I'd quit DJing. I completely put it all to bed, and then when we had lockdown, I bought myself a little fucking controller, over the years I've bought decks, and I've sold them, and I bought this DDJ 400 and did a little mix, and randomly I'm in Asda in Hunts Cross, and I sees John Edge, and he said, "Oh, you're alright, Jay?" He said, I'm involved with this night, back to the dock, I can probably get you on." And I went, "Oh, no,
you've sat enough." I
hadn't DJed for 12 years, and I came home and I said to Jenny, bear in mind, at that point I'd been with Jenny like 6 or 7 years or whatever it was, and she'd never seen me play because obviously I'd quit. And I said, "I just bumped into Edgy there, and he was saying he's involved with this lad called Lee, and he got this night back to dock, he's asking me to play." And she said, "What'd you say?" I said, "No." And she was like, "Why?" I said, "Well, I don't know, it might be fucking shit, might not even fucking..." So it was you and John that kind of got me out of the timers, and it was initially going to be one and done. I was going to just go and see how I got on. And I always remember it was the 4th birthday party.
Yeah.
I was on before you, relatively early, quite nervous, hadn't played for fucking 12, 13 years. Played me set, and I went outside, and I was phoning Jenny, and I said, and she went, "What have you had?" And I went, "Nothing." She went, "You sound like you're off your head." I said, "I'm fucking buzzing." I drove, I was literally fucking like tingling. I said, "It's fucking really good, I fucking loved it." And then off the back of that, became, I started getting more involved, and then obviously the podcast, and then essentially started with yourself.
Yeah.
And then for me, the big break for me was getting Cocky on. I got Cocky on the podcast, and I kind of half knew, as with yourself, if I put my best foot forward and Cocky, something good will come from it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it would be. I half expected to do the podcast with Cocky and him say, listen, I can get a word in for you there. I get Lee Butler on or something like that. And it was only like the Wednesday we recorded the podcast, and the Saturday and he rang me and he said, I've got a proposition for you. Have you ever considered doing a radio show? At the time, the answer was no. It's never even crossed my mind. And then off the back of getting that, like yourself, we got on Reminisce. And I honestly believe if it wasn't for the radio show, I wouldn't be on Reminisce. I wouldn't be on the Stu Allan Festival. I wouldn't be playing the Drone Revival. But it all started with a chance encounter with John in fucking Hunts Cross.
Yeah, it's mad.
So at what point did you start DJing? Because you were the fourth birthday party was the first one I'd gone to and played. You were DJing then, and you were quite well established at that point. So at what point did you start to have a dabble?
I think it was 2018, the back end of 2018, yeah.
And what was the reason for
that? Do you know what? I just seen everyone doing it, and I thought, do you know what? When I was younger, I did have a set of decks and that, and I did learn to do a little bit of beat matching on with vinyl and stuff like that. And it's just like it was never ever going to be me thing, because being a criminal was like my life. Know what I mean? Yeah. That was there was no way out of it for me other than getting put to jail to realise that it's not your life. Yeah. And so when they started doing the nights and that, I just thought back to then and I thought, I want to have a little go, and it was easier now because it's not vinyl, it's on USBs or digital, and I've done a few lessons with Les Calvert and Mike Chat, yeah. Done lessons. I was meant to have one of them as a teacher, and every week you go be one or the other. They'd swap, know what I mean? But they
both bring a different set of skills.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to have both of them thinking with you, and I'd done a bit with them. And I'd done my first set, and mate, it was awful. I just couldn't get it. I'd done, some of it was alright and some of it was awful, know what I mean? And then I'd done another one straight away for someone, and that was a bit better. And I was thinking, I don't want to do this, and I just went away and thought to myself, and it's the only reason why we done it. I thought, I can save some money by having warm-up DJs on and doing it myself, know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you've developed from that, man. You're not the warm-up DJ anymore. You're getting some fucking decent gigs as well. So we're going to talk very briefly about Reminisce Festival. Again, we both got put on Reminisce the same year for very different reasons. I honestly believe the reason I got put on it because it was on in-demand radio, plain and simple. It wasn't through merit, it wasn't through how good a DJ was. It was because I was on in-demand radio. I'd like to think of, I've earned my wage there now. You got put on there for completely different reasons because, as I said, you were fucking smashing the scene. But you weren't just a DJ at Reminisce. Was it the first or the second time you were the stage manager?
Both of them have been assistant manager. On both occasions, I've been assistant to Colin, who's the stage manager, so I'm his assistant on both of them, yeah.
And what does that involve?
So just making sure everyone gets there and just make sure if anything goes wrong that you're there to react on it, or like anything, lasers, so you might have to go and tell because sometimes the people who do the lights, they could be on the phones or something, know what I mean? Something could go down, so you've got to be, just got to be watching everything, keep also watching the crowd to see nothing's going on. I know they do have a lot of stewards on the front watching, but even yourself, you've got to look every now and again, just make sure everyone's all right and stuff like that. Like last year, I had to go down there a couple of times and do the VIP tents because they were a bit short, so I was covering there for a couple of hours as well, which is like
different vibe down
different
there,
vibe, different vibes to the Legends.
That Legends tent's got it's just got that back to dock vibe, and it's all our kind of old school people and stuff like that. And this year you didn't just play once at Reminisce.
I got to play twice. Yeah, he gave me the opening set and the closing set. Yeah, it was so two different styles of music. I'd done Oldskool first, and then hardcore at the end, which was really good.
And off the back of that, of course, through all your hard work, we both got the call. I think it was fucking hell. It was over 12 months ago now. We got added to a group, a WhatsApp group. Again, Cocky saying, I want to do a drone revival, mate. Yeah. What are your thoughts? And me and you were back and forth. His fucking head was burnt out, wasn't it? He's sorry, he fucking asked me. We were just throwing names at him.
Don't forget that was it. And he just put us in the group. Now I never thought it'd be on it. I thought he just wanted some ideas off me, you know what I mean? And because I just didn't think. And when we got put in the artist group for the drone, I thought, fucking hell, they haven't even asked me, but I've made up, like, you know what I mean?
Well deserved, mate. I've spoken to Cocky yesterday, and there's a couple of names getting bounced around. I'll speak to you off the podcast. a couple of people he's potentially got lined up or has already booked for the next one, which is going to be a day festival, which should be interesting. So what are your thoughts on the hardcore landscape now? There seems to be a lot of bitching going on, a lot of beefs, a lot of moaning, a lot of fucking he said, she said. And again, we're not going to name any names, we're not here to cause any trouble or start any drama ourselves. But do you not agree? There's a lot of fucking moaning going on in the scene.
Yeah, it's, do you know what, mate? It's not just the hardcore scene. Quite a few of the scenes are toxic like that. And do you know what? I've had it in the scene in Liverpool with people. I've fell out with loads of people, and I've made up with.
Fell out with me.
I fell out with you. I fell out with everyone. And I've made up with. I've as good as made up with everyone now. Know what I mean? But it's just some people don't like what you're doing, and like they just take hate, don't like it to you, and like they let you know, so you react back to this. Some people you just fall out because you don't like what they're doing, know what I mean? But with this hardcore scene now, mate, I don't know, it's just not good for the scene. It's like the scene's not really that big anyway, and you've got people creating divides, splitting people up, and it's just not good, mate.
I think there's a lot of people with expectations as well. You'll see people and they'll get put on an event. Now, I'm happy for the gig. Like the last gig we did for you for Back to the Dock, I wasn't even on the event, and I said to you, listen, you're doing an event there for Zoe's place. If there's anything I can do to help you out, obviously I've got a bigger platform now on the radio. And you said, yeah, I'll put you on. And I was on fucking 9:30. Yeah. And I'm happy with that. Yes. You'll get no diva acting out of me. It was fucking hard, by the way, staying, because I said to you, I promise you I'll stay on the 136 or 135, and it was fucking hard. Like, for me, obviously anyone who knows the way I fucking play, I usually start at 150. But there's too many people out there now who they'll get on one or two gigs
and they become self-entitled, know what I mean? Yeah. We have it as well, but we just tend to like ignore them, know what I mean? And if anyone creates drama, mate, I don't give them the time of day. I don't respond. They get nothing out of me because they're not worth. If you give them a reaction, you're just giving them a platform. Freedom to thingy. So it's not me thing towards it now is I don't respond, mate. I've got nothing to say. I'm not. Just let people do what they want to do.
Exactly.
As long
the best way to fucking kill a troll is to starve it. And
that's
most
it.
people out there are trolls. They're looking for a reaction. They're saying something because they want you to react the same way, and then you're the bad guy.
The scenes where there's a part of the scene that's really good, know what I mean? We're going to do a lot of hardcore one thing for next year. We're going to be doing something big in hardcore next year, which has not been done up here. So we want to make it good. We want to make it good. All these people, like there's a couple of people, I'm not going to name them, but there's over the past couple of months there's been two really, and they're just using anything to try and create drama, using someone's retired from the scene, so he's bringing an argument up from like 10 years ago, trying to bring it all fresh again, using that's the why it's happening, and it's basically not, know what I mean? It's just like, it's just the best, should just all leave it alone and carry on with what they're doing, and the lives would be better.
People get involved in other people's drama as well. So you spoke there about the future. Obviously you've got a lot lined up next year. You've announced there's going to be a Back to the Dock festival.
Back to the Dock Fest, yeah.
You've got a collaboration with a certain brand, which we spoke about on Saturday night. And we've got your 50th birthday party. Yeah. So, while you're on the podcast now, in front of all the fans who are watching this live on YouTube, is there any news you'd like to drop? Breaking news, any nuggets you got for us?
Well, I'll drop 3 for you.
Go ahead.
Well, the Back to the Dock Fest is going to be 12th of July. We've got it's going to be in Liverpool. I'm not going to drop the venue yet, but we've got it all boxed off. It's not going to be a festival like Reminisce or nothing like that. It's going to be an outdoor with 2 indoor areas, yeah. So
that's three arenas.
3 arenas, yeah. It's going to have 3 areas.
And what are the breakdown of 3 arenas? I'm presuming hardcore, Oldskool,
and Oldskool. Yeah, it's going to be like 3. Going to be 3 areas. Yeah. Probably 2 only will be happening at once. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. So we'll have 2 areas happening at once, but it's going to be 3 areas because it's going to start early, and then be outside till 11. And then we'll move inside then, know what I mean? It's going to go for the 12-hour event, but a lot of people can't stay open. So that's the 12th of July, Back to the Dock Fest. Wow. You're on it yourself, so I've already asked you this one. In August, 16th of August, Back to the Dock, Born to Clad are going to be bringing Bonkerz to Liverpool.
Wow.
Now, that's a massive one. This is going to be an outdoor event. This is going to be an outside event. Yeah, it's going to be massive.
Fuck me, that's 3 fucking mammoths colliding.
We've basically got. It's going to be a bonkers lineup, like what they do. It's really big, yeah. So we've worked on that. So that's.
And what date's that again? Sorry.
That's all going to be getting released this Sunday. So that'll be So we've already been released by This Is Out.
Oh, will it? Yeah. Oh, well, it's not quite breaking news, but it's better than none.
And this will be breaking news. My 50th is the 10th of November, and I've spoke to the owner of the venue, and you know it would have been the 8th, the Saturday the 8th, and there's too many other events on around that time, so we've never ever done a Back to the Dock Halloween party, so we're going to celebrate my birthday on the 31st of October.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Fancy dress?
That's what we're looking, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're looking at.
Best dress gets a little prize or something like that?
We're going to be looking at fancy dress.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're going to be looking at that. That's the breaking news.
Okay, that's fucking... I can't thank you enough, mate. That's 3 fucking big nuggets of information there. So we're going to finish off now, Lee, with some quick fire questions. Lee Hall, I will take your first answer and your first answer only. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What superpower would you have?
To heal people.
Full English breakfast or a roast dinner?
Roast dinner.
What meat?
Lamb.
Oh, look at that quick fire, that fucking hell. Rocky 3 or Rocky 4?
4 for me.
Is there any artist that you haven't already had on which you would like to have on Back to the Dock? Obviously, someone who's alive. You can't magic one like.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at getting them towards. We're going to be looking into getting them. Yeah. Jumping Jack Frost, DJ Rap, people like that.
Yeah, superb.
We've literally, it's all the we've done it all the hardcore.
That's a tough one, that, isn't it? 'Cause you've had everyone on, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had nearly everyone now.
I think everyone's on the fucking 8th birthday, aren't they? What's your best DJ moment?
Man, would be the first Reminiscence done, absolutely brilliant, because I played just before you, and there was someone on before me, and it was like about fair, and when I come on, like the tent just started, loads of people just started coming in, know what I mean, as people walking past, kind of played Let Me Be Your Fantasy, and when I played that, the people from the tent must have heard it, they all started flocking in, it was really good.
One thing you would rid from the world?
Terrorism.
Nintendo or Sega?
Nintendo.
10p mix or Space Raiders?
Oh, 10p mix, the sugar.
Who's your favourite DJ or dance act?
Man, my favourite DJ, I don't know. I like a lot of stuff, mate, but at the minute I'm really liking what Billy Bunce is doing at the minute. He's really liking what he's doing, yeah. He's
always been quite cutting edge. I mean, I remember when he brought out the what he called the transcore sound, which ended up being Freeform, and Sharkey and Energy took it to another level. But he was I always remember that back in the day again, the Skeleton tapes and stuff like that. The Billy Bunce tape was always the one I used to go for.
Yeah, what I've been watching him on a big follow him instead, and like I know Billy Deadwell speaks to him, and like he's starting to push that like jungle techno sound, but it's starting to sound a lot more like hardcore. I played a bit of it in bowlers, to be honest. Yeah, and it's like it's new, but it sounds old. It sounds
new old school.
It's like new old school sound. It sounds like it really comes from then, and like he's pushing it a lot on his thing.
He's very active on the
socials.
Very active
on the socials, but even the old school stuff he's pushing, like the clips from, was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. What would be your first purchase if you won the Euro Millions?
I'd buy all my family and house.
Alive or dead, who would you like to go and watch in concert?
Bob Marley.
How would you like your steak?
Medium.
Who's the best MC who's performed for you? Oof. As in when you've been DJing?
Well, on my set?
Yeah.
John's always brilliant.
A fully stocked shop, what would be your go-to chocolate bar if everything's there?
Oh, a tricky one. That's a tricky one. I do like... I like Buenos at the minute.
Buenos? Yeah. White or brown?
The white. I like the white, yeah. I'm loving the white Buenos.
What would you say your worst habit was?
Swearing.
Fuck off. What scares you?
What scares me? Violence.
And what's the best podcast you've ever been on?
This one, mate.
Yay! Oh, they all say that.
violence is in like the violence that create me when I see red and stuff like no to me own. It's like not good. No to
well,
me.
you seem to be doing a very good job of fucking caring that in the past few years, mate. And obviously, me and you fell out, and when you look back at that situation, that was 6-1 after the delay. You know, I hadn't done what I said I was going to do. We both reacted a certain way, but all that matters is, mate, we're here now.
Yeah, that's it.
Fucking buried the hatchet. All good. So what you upcoming events? Obviously, this is going to go out on Wednesday. Oof. So you've got an event this Saturday.
Yeah, we've got one.
Well.
This Saturday, we've Born to Collide, and also we've got our Christmas party, the first one we've ever done for our course, so for Christmas. So it's looking alright, to be honest. I'm on after Club Villa, so
wow.
Yeah, so yes. I normally always go on early on our own events, but we've decided I'll go on thingy today.
So this is going to come out on Wednesday, so hopefully that's all gone well, and obviously people watching this will have seen it. Anything
next on the 21st, I'm up in Southport on the Deliverance, the ones Charlie and Evo have done. So I'm on just before Vibes and Lively on that.
What a lineup again!
It looks really good. Yeah, some good lads.
I'm on for them in I think it's February.
No, while we went up there, the venue's alright. It's a decent little venue, and they've got a good group. They've got all their Maximum Overload lads, Joe Duchans' lads on this one, and they're all good lads here.
Fantastic. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Just so everyone who follows us and attends our nights. And
so speaking of that, where can they follow you? Where can people find anyone who's watching or listening to this who doesn't already? Where can they find you?
On Instagram, Back to the Dock events, and Lee All on Facebook.
Fantastic.
I'm probably already 5,000 people on Facebook, but you can follow us. Yeah, or our Back to the Dock group on Facebook as well. Or Back
that's
to the
got
Dock
a lot of
page.
followers as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's got like 5,000. Yeah.
Right, Lee. I just want to once again thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like I say, you've been a pivotal part of my journey in more ways than one. You were the start of my podcast. You're the first guest to come on twice. Obviously, the first one didn't go so well through no fault of your own, so we've righted the wrongs. Best of luck moving forward, and thanks for coming on.
Nice one, mate.